Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Hobby Room channel once again, where we are currently sitting in the Hobby Room gazebo, I guess we'll call it. This morning we're going to do a kind of a first impression on the 57 Chevy by Kyosho, which is on the Fazer platform. Now, I know that this has been reviewed and reviewed. I'm way late to the game, but I thought I'd throw my hat in the ring and have a go. It looked like a beautiful car online, and in fact it's a beautiful car in person. My first impressions of it are it's a great looking car. The wheels are molded fantastically. The body is striking. There's a good amount of plastic. I guess I would have liked to have seen a little bit more plastic. A lot of the chrome trim that you see is actually in decal, and some of it is lifting. The application could have been a little bit better. But all told, it isn't bad. So that's the aesthetic. It's on the Fazer platform, and actually just in the quick run from my front door here, it took a lot of trimming in. Clearly this Fazer platform is meant to do all things from entry-level racing to parking lot bashing to drifting. So I had to dial a whole ton of the steering out and a whole ton of the throttle punch out to get this to move in a scale fashion. Now, fortunately, the transmitter that Kyosho provides has a whole bunch of options, a whole bunch of dual rates, and really gives you the opportunity to rein it in. So, all told, it's quite a comfortable controller. The only issue that I had, because I had the camera in one hand and the transmitter in the other and the car on the ground, I'm accustomed to driving one-handed with my thumb. And because, I don't know if you could see the way that the wheel is canted, despite having huge hands, I can't actually pull the trigger and steer at the same time. So for one-handed driving, this transmitter, not so great, but in terms of features, it is definitely feature-rich. So, I guess without anything more to say, let's go give this thing a little putz around the neighborhood and weigh in on what we think. Join me. Alright guys, so I'm a little bit pooped, sad to say. We only did about 1.5 miles, but we got our first impressions of the 57 Bel Air by Kyosho on the Fazer platform. So let's take it from the top. Pros and cons. I can really see only two kind of cons. The first one would be the price point of the model. And it's not even really a con, it's just, it's pricey for being an entry-level chassis. Now, about that chassis, it handles great, it runs great, but we'll touch on that in a second. The reason for that price point is this body set and the accompanying wheels. They really are quite stunning, and that is no doubt what you're paying for, as the body set with wheels costs as much as the RTR chassis and transmitter do by themselves. The body set doubles the price of the Fazer. And my opinion of that is they did a beautiful job. There's a lot of plastic bits. There's a lot of really good stuff here, but there's also a lot of stickers. And the application of those stickers could have been slightly better And I just feel at this price point, I would have either liked to have seen more plastic or seen the stickers applied with a little bit more care. There's a little bit of lifting, a little bit of peeling, but that's nothing that can't be resolved with a little bit of time and glue, frankly. The only other con that I really experienced, the suspension seemed quite bouncy. Now, they are oil-filled shocks, but I suspect that they're not filled up to the top. So what I will do as soon as I get back into the house is I'm going to go ahead and drain down the shocks, fill them with a nice light oil, and at least that way it'll take some of the springiness out of it. Now, I say light oil because we're not looking for the best handling here. I mean, it's a 57 Bel Air. If you're driving this like a race car, you're driving it wrong. So I'm going for scale here, not best performance. So I want to see that suspension articulate and move, so I'll use a nice light oil. Additionally, I am going to throw at the car, I bought Kyosho, has hop-up front center shaft cups, rear center shaft cups, and center shaft. I'm probably doing that because I've got the Tamiya Paranoia. The TTO2 had a plastic center shaft which was prone to failure. I've been burned so many times that actually when I bought this kit, I bought the hop-up parts at the same time because it wasn't something I wanted to deal with. Now, dealing with the pros, it's a good-looking model. It really is. From 6 feet away, it's a very good-looking model. The handling is fantastic. Actually kind of surprised me how well it actually handles with these scale treaded tires. And additionally, the brushed 540 motor that comes with the kit is more than enough. I did a couple of flybys. Hopefully the video comes through and you guys can see it. It goes plenty fast enough for a 57 Bel Air. Again, if you're trying to, rip, snort, and tear with this thing, it's gonna look goofy anyway because that's not what a 57 Bel Air does. So if you had thoughts of buying this kit then upgrading it to a brushless setup or just upgrading it in general, I would kind of encourage you guys to not. Like I said, the only two things, I'm going to do them anyway. I don't know if I'm going to keep the model or not, but the only two things that I would do straight off the bat are rebuild the shocks, refill the shocks, make sure that they're done correctly, and I'm going to throw that center shaft in it, but again, not out of necessity, just because I have it. With that having been said, what is this model good for? Well, the reason I wouldn't worry about the center shaft right away is because I think there's two good uses of this model. It's either to go for a walk with, in which case you're never going to stress the center shaft because you're going to be at walking speed, maybe buzzing around a little bit, but you're not doing speed runs with it or anything like that. You need to either take this model out and use it, knowing full well that it's going to get bumps, bruises, scratches. The body is so big, the overhangs are so great. Like if you look at the back, the amount of body behind the tire, that even transferring from sidewalk to street back to sidewalk, as gradual as the ramps are here in my neighborhood, it's still the body dragged. So if you think that you're going to use this and preserve it and keep it 100%, that's probably not going to happen. The body is too big and too complicated. You're going to hurt it. Alternatively, the second way to use this is to put it on a shelf about 6 feet away from where it'll be viewed, and it'll look 10/10. It's a 6-foot car, because once you get close to it, it begins to tell on itself with the stickers and whatnot. But viewed from a short distance, guys, it's absolutely gorgeous. It looks phenomenal. So yeah, if you gotta have the look and you're comfortable with the price, I would call this a great model. Once I got it all dialed in, it handled well, it went plenty fast enough, it looked great. Of course, all the neighbors who I saw made a comment about it. So it really does get a lot more looks than some of the other RCs that I'm out here with. I mean, you guys know I'm out here playing in the neighborhood almost every day with an RC, and this one definitely drew some attention. So on that note, I would give this one a thumbs up. So make your choice, do whatever you see fit, but I think it's a pretty good car. Guys, have a great day, have a great week, go do something radio controlled, and enjoy the hobby. Thanks for stopping in. Don't forget, don't forget, like, subscribe, notification bell. I'm trying to get those subscriptions up over 1,000, and so I can do the live chats. So any subscriptions are hugely appreciated. If you're not subscribed, click that button, and it goes a long way for the channel. Thanks again.